Let go.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to episode 2 of Nail Art Book Journal, July edition. Today, I can't even tell you, we have unprecedented levels of black girl magic in this episode today. The fantasy world, get ready, because these two authors are taking you by storm, foot on neck. Alright, because this last month I read Legendborn by Tracy Dion and Lore of the Wilds by Annalisa Vrana, and I already have book 2 for both of those books in my library as we speak, so this isn't the last you're gonna see of me. But honestly, let's just get into it because I got a lot to say. So, as always, there are no spoilers in here. This is all either from the blurb or from literally like the first paragraph of the first page. So if it sounds like, oh my god, you're giving me so much information, yeah, that's like how books work. I don't know how to tell you, that's like fantasy. There's like a lot to discuss. But anyway, I started my July off with Legendborn by Tracy Dion, and girl, let me get into it because it's about a girl named Bree. She's 16 years old and she's from the South, the good old South. In America, in the United States, obviously. And she wants to go to this boarding school. Her and her bestie have been dreaming of going to this boarding school since they were kids, and it's the same boarding school that her mom went to. Problema, her mom is like, actually, I don't want you to go to this school. And so they got into like this huge fight, and this fight takes place the day before the first page of the book. Okay, ready for this? The first page of the book takes place in the hospital with Bree, her dad, and a police officer telling her that her mother got into a car accident and is dead. Yeah, pretty heavy first page. And the crazy part about this is it feels to Bree very hazy and muddy and almost like mystical, like something about that memory just kind of blurs in her mind, but she can't think about that right now, obviously, because I don't know if you noticed, her mom is dead. So this starts like the first internal conflict inside of Bree. She references like old Bree versus new Bree because she starts not really acting like herself, and because obviously she's going to go to the school, she already signed up and all that, but the last conversation she ever had with her mom was her mom telling her how she didn't want her to go to the school. So she feels kind of bad, but then she also feels kind of angry because, you know, why do you always keep stuff from me? Like, why don't you want me to go to the school? But also, I shouldn't be thinking this way because you're my mom and I should have just listened to you, and so I could have had good final words for you. And so she's going through this really tumultuous battle inside her head, literally on the first day of school. Like, oh my god, stress on stress on stress. And so during this orientation where her friend is like, hey girl, I'm gonna try and like, come on, this is what we've always dreamed of. We're going to make this year, we're gonna make the best of this year, I promise. Oh, you will. Oh, you surely will. Because on that orientation day, there is an attack from these creatures, these demons. And two tall, attractive upperclassmen, they're like 18, I think. They start battling these demons that attack the orientation party, and one of the upperclassmen, his name is Sel. His name is Selwyn, but we call him Sel. His name is Sel. He wipes the memories of all the underclassmen, all the freshmen, so that they don't remember this demon attack. But Bree still remembers. Bree gets her memory back, and at first she's gonna like pretend nothing happened, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see anything, but then she remembers that hazy feeling she felt from having her memory erased is the same feeling she felt at the hospital when the police were telling her that her mom had died. And so she's like, oh my gosh, there might have been foul play at work, somebody is altering my memory. So she joins it's like, I forgot what like the cover up for this society is. It's like a club, it's like a little special rich kid. She's like, I'm joining this like rich kid student organization. It's actually a secret society of kids who have inherited the powers of the Knights of the Round Table. Dun dun dun, all the way in Wales. So there's some Welsh if you're into that, if you're into Welsh. As she starts to learn more, she's like leveraging this info. She starts to realize not only is there a connection between her mom and perhaps the secret society, but there perhaps are more secret societies on this campus. Now the world of magic is much larger than just, you know, the Knights of the Round Table, and she gets split between not only like, I'm helping a bunch of white people in the South and they obviously look down on me because they're very traditional and all of that, but also should she lean heavy and leverage this like Anglo mythical society that might help her to figure out actually what happened to her mother, or should she lean towards the spiritual African-American practitioner side of history that might give her more information on her past and in turn her mother? So it's like a huge balance of expectations between, like, obviously she's doing all the secret stuff and she can't tell her friends and family, so that's another thing. Everybody thinks she's just like getting drunk and going to parties every night, and they're worried about her because her mom just died. She's like, I don't know if I should trust these people. I don't know if I should even trust my people because they're not giving me any information. My, you know, African American ancestry is kind of like cut off. You can't really get a lot out of there because of, you know, African American history. You can't get a lot there because of how little information there is, how much information was cut off and destroyed. And so there's like a lot of parallel. Also, she's like still dealing with like grief and trying to figure out what is me being a spoiled brat and trying to hang on to my mother in unhealthy ways, and what is me trying to get closure, you know? What's the difference? There's a lot of parallels like between the grief of a loved one and the grief of like African American ancestry, your heritage, your history, especially when she's dealing with the secret society where people have inherited lineage. They know every single thing, every single person on a pedestal, every single person, every single leaf of a family tree. Whereas everything in African American history is deeply spiritual. You have to connect to it, you have to know, you have to hear about it, and she's completely cut off from that. So, and then you also have like these twists between Anglo mythology and African American mythology, because let's face it, a lot of these old people, especially when they came to the Americas, they were slave owners. So there was a lot of there are links, there are places where both of these things existed at the same time, and what could come of it for a person who is a part of both or needs to be a part of both. And it's super freaking cool. There's a love triangle I didn't mention, forgot to mention that. Triangle, by the way, not corner. All the points are connected. There's a secret society, obviously. It's like a mythical retelling, and it is an academic romance. And book 2 is called Blood Marked, and it's already in my library, so come on, tune in. Don't be lame, tune in. Okay, so boom, book 2. The next book I read was Lore of the Wilds, and that's like a fantasy book, so strap in. I gotta give you some backgrounds. Okay, so this takes place on a planet of like fae and mythical creatures like orcs and whatnot, and magical foxes and whatnot. But one day, like a bajillion million years ago, I don't think so, I think it was like a few centuries ago, a bunch of humans appeared on the planet. Nobody knows where they came from, nobody knows like what they are, but they're these beings without magic, and they're just, we know what humans are, but that's weird to them because they don't have like pointy ears and glowing skin and whatnot. And since humans are like the only beings on the planet without any magic, they easily got overpowered and colonized, and the only human area is this village called Duskmere. So our main character is a human in Duskmere named Lore of the Wild. See, yep, you're getting there. So Lore works in her adoptive auntie's apothecary, and she sells homemade candles and beautiful scents and hand copied books of Aletherian, because you know they can't print books, so she has to like read books in Aletherian. Lore can read Aletherian, which is the Fae language, like one of the Fae languages. And so she finds or buys a copy of an Aletherian book and then translates it into the human language. She has to like handwrite each page. It's a lot. And then one day, a member of the royal family, Lord Sorrel, comes in and buys said book, and he's like, oh my god, I didn't know humans could read Aletherian. I thought you guys were all just dumb. And she's like, actually no, we're not dumb. And then he leaves, and she gets a lot of money from that book, and she's happy. But dun dun dun, there's an earthquake that same day, and Duskmere is like decimated. Like, it's actually insane, like it's actually crazy, and they need money and resources to rebuild. They need a whole bunch of resources, and they don't just need money to rebuild, they need resources, because money can't buy you nothing if everything's destroyed, if there's nothing to buy, because all the stores and shops are broken up too. So crazily enough, one of the sentries, aka like the guards that surround the area that keep the humans inside Duskmere, comes and takes Lore away to the Aletherian palace to meet with the royal family. And the royals are like, hey girl, so we heard you can read Aletherian, let's make a deal. In exchange for helping out Duskmere with some resources and stuff, we need you to do this super secret important task in the Aletherian library that only humans can do. Like, this is not something that we could do ourselves, otherwise we wouldn't bother with you humans. The only catch is you are not allowed to actually read or take any of the contents inside the book. You can only like read the cover and like the little, like as little as possible. You're not allowed to like actually flip through the book and like, you know, educate yourself, okay? But obviously Lore doesn't listen to that. And there's this one book that calls out to her the most. And it sort of opens up this beautiful opportunity for magic and wonder and a chance to save her people. And now she's put between crossroads, because does she trust this mystical book? Does she trust this deal that she made with the royal family? She's also kind of low-key made some friends here. It's kind of crazy, but and but also what I really love about this book is Lore goes through like this internal conflict about loving and hating magic, because as a child she's always like loved magic, she's always wanted magic, but also she's always hated magic, because that's what sort of that's what's been oppressing her people. She hates everybody who wields magic. And so she has multiple moments where she's like, oh my god, I'm in a mystical wonderland, and then she goes, oh my god, I'm still like a prisoner for all these people. So it's like, I like how she's constantly in and out of this is a dream versus this is a nightmare type beat. And also I know this sounds like a very grounded story, like in the palace. It is 100% not. Like, she will travel this world. It's absolutely gorgeous. Miss Sabrina did her big one, I fear. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm not usually like, I'm not really like a cottagecore fairy type gal. I'm more of a Y2K but looking into the future Winx Club-esque fairy lover. Like, this is not my brand of fae, but this was such a beautiful and enjoyable book. Like, Miss Sabrina really took her time on all the things that she loves, including a love corner, not a triangle. The men don't connect, unfortunately. But a love corner between a sassy fae defector and a jaded ACAB fae. He said hashtag ACAB. He said hashtag I hate life. I hate the world we live in. He said hashtag we live in a society. Also, insane plot twists. Like, you don't know, you think you know where the story's going, you don't. I made so many predictions, most of them were wrong, so that's lovely. That speaks a lot to how good I am of a storyteller and a writer, I suppose. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I highly recommend it, though. It is 100% lovely for anybody who has ever dreamed of being like a human girl going through the ways of the fairy world. Also, it's, I forgot to put this in my notes, but it's like super black, like black on black on black on black on black. You have no idea. Like it's crazy. Like, I've never seen, like, usually anytime there's like black people in these fae fantasy world, it's always just like a sprinkling, or like the dark skinned people. The dark skinned people live over there. But no, I mean, obviously there are like other races, and like there are like blue people and whatnot, but like there's a lot of black people, a lot of different hair types, a lot of different hair textures. It's super fun to see like blackness in a mythical, magical, fantastical lens. And I think Miss Sabrina did her big one, perhaps. And I also don't have a segue for this, but I love Isla. So Miss Sabrina, if you see this, I love Isla. Thank you so much for making the character Isla. She's my fave character in the whole book, and I actually just got an email saying that my second book was shipped, so you will be getting a review for that later. I highly recommend this book. Highly recommend it for literally everyone. Both Lord of the Wilds and Legendborn. 10 out of 10. That's not the actual rating I gave them, but 10 out of 10 time reading them. Faux show. So what do you think? Did I nail it or did I fail it, gang? Except, as always, you're not allowed to say that I failed it, because I'm talking about literacy. You know, United States literacy is at an all-time low right now. You can't say I failed it. I might never pick up another book again. You might as well drop down to the comments and say I nailed it. You might as well drop a like, drop a sub, drop a whatever to keep me on board with this reading, gang. Don't mind the fact that I have a degree in English literature. That means nothing. Right now, the only thing that matters is you're like, I'm just kidding. I hope you like the nail I made. I hope one day Tracy Dion and Annalise Sabrina see my nail, because honestly, these books are absolutely wonderful and mean a lot to me, and I can't wait to get even more into the series. As always, all the things you need to know are linked in the description of this video, and I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or like whatever you want to do. That would be really nice. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm about to go watch K-pop Demon Hunters for like the 15th millionth time, because I'm going to the sing-along. Yeah, I already got tickets. So I'll catch you after that. Goodbye, have a good day, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next nail art video.